Look at that mask. Watch that mask. I didn't even think we were going to be able to do that. It's like 20 bones in the rig for that one mask.
Did they tell you?
It was like a week ago I thought we were going to have to cut the first part of the scene just because that mask was going to be impossible to do. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is so badass. No one's going to notice.
But they said the same of you, didn't they? Unstable, psychotic, unfit for duty, and yet...
It's crazy because you know, when you focus test the game, you get this kind of weird reaction to cutscenes where 70% of people just skip them really fast, and you wonder, is it because they don't have any investment in it and they just want to, you know, consume the game as fast as they can because they're there for a little bit, or you know, because they think it's irrelevant. So you can skip them all in this game. But here's where we go into color. He's infected. He's screwed up. There we go with the next gen bloom, hooked up to the heartbeat. It's not next gen if you can see it. It's not next gen if it's too blurry or too bloomy. Out of focus. So to control. So this scene's, oh, here we go. There's all the C4 that you planted there is working as a plot device to save his life, so to speak. And the prologue's over. We're in color mode now, which is good because you can see his disgusting infected arm. Look at seagulls. It's a very tight formation for helicopters, but excellent pilots in Lazarus. Excellent pilots. So this is when he sort of gets the first, I guess what we're calling the evolution, where slowly his arm kind of peels back and you can see the awesome metal arm beneath.
Marla, one. Oh, shit.
This gross infected arm wasn't put in until like a week ago. So these scenes used to be pretty brutal because he had this like awesome manga metal arm. And he's like, oh, it's not working, wah, woe is me. And it's just like, it didn't work because as an observer, you're like, no, damn, dude, that's awesome. You don't want to get rid of that. But now that it looks kind of like a burnt steak, it's slightly more sympathetic, I guess.
He's got an observation post on top of the Lazarian Port Authority. He'll have more boosters for the infection. Use them. It'll hold it off until we can get you out of there. Just follow the coastline north.
I've lost all my gear.
Improvise. You were always good at that.
All right, so we strip the player of ammo at this point so that you can sort of prove for yourself that you can use the glaive. And speaking of radical design changes in the last few months, one of them is the dual wield. which has been pretty important in sort of speeding up the flow of the game. So after this fight, this will be the last fight where, because you got no ammo, the next fights, Josh will be, ooh, grenade. Josh will be able to fire the pistol at any time with the offhand. So the glaive is this sort of limitation because it's a brutal, powerful weapon, but it has the flight time as a limitation. So rather than forcing you to switch between weapons and all this sort of stuff, we just let you fire the pistol offhand. It solves a lot of problems. Actually, when we did that, we went back through all of the inventory that you can purchase that I was talking about, you know, the collection, the money collection. And we added 2 more pistols, and we made the existing pistols more powerful because it really becomes the primary mode of fighting, which is the dual wield and the glaive. So after the next fight, he's going to get the sort of first power on the glaive, which is the ability to steal weapons and items at a distance. So if you can make it through this, which I assume you will, a nice little goodie for him. You can see there he's doing the cover slip, which is you just double tap the cover button and you'll dodge into the next cover. So every enemy in the game has, I think, 2 or 3 unique finishers to them, which is pretty amazing. Here we go. Here we go. You see the sort of metal arm is now kind of more predominant. It's gone up the sleeve, more up to the forearm. And eventually, by level 4, you will see everything, including some effects that we put actually on the character to indicate charges for the superpowers that he gets. So that's a little lock-on thing. And that works pretty well for stealing weapons off the ground and things like that. It's actually faster than picking them up. That's a really good technique also with the dual wield, which is you usually get a stun off it for human enemies. So, or you can just steal a shotgun and waste. But you can tap them with the glaive once and they'll go into a stun and stop firing, and you can just shoot them offhand with the pistol to finish them off. So we have an event coming up right in a few seconds here where we introduce, for a moment, the first boss of the game. And it was kind of at this point where pacing-wise, they're tossing in the Infraron grenades. The Hazmat guys use the Infraron grenades, which prevent you from regenerating and give you like the crazy drug vision. Josh is avoiding it like a good boy. There you go. Oh, boom. Oh, something's coming. So we wanted to bring this boss in a bit earlier than the actual confrontation because we wanted to make sure you didn't think you were just going to be fighting troopers and soldiers as the main part of the game. And oh yes, and that's how you get out actually. So he rips the shit out of the building. So, oh, flying through the air, very good. Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay, it's also the dodge tutorial. If you sneak up behind an enemy who apparently is quite distracted by a giant red gorilla destroying him, if you sneak up behind enemies, you can get the finishing move. And and later on you get the ability, which is kind of like a cloaking kind of predator ability, and that kind of opens up, oh yeah, sweet. That opens up the finishers without requiring a stun, which is really cool. If you prefer to play with those kind of sneak attacks and the finishing moves, then that ability is something that I think you'd really appreciate. Later on, when you see this guy, he's going to be pretty much like a metallic black, where his flesh is hardened, and you will need to use the energy trap function of the glaive, where you can get fire on it, and you'll have to burn off the armor and do damage to him. So eventually this transmission goes off and he gets called away, and once you meet Yargo, he sort of explains what this transmission is about and how Messner's using it to call in the infected.